Hi there team, welcome back to the channel and welcome to my overview of BlazBlue Entropy Effect. So I do reviews and overviews on this channel pretty much daily. When it comes to overviews, it's just a short, punchy video. I try and keep it under 10 minutes, broad stroke details where I have a look at the first 2 hours of the game. That's the Steam refund window, and Steam seems pretty confident that you can make up your mind about whether you want to keep a game or not after those 2 hours, and I kind of agree. I very much doubt you're going to change your mind 20 hours in if you didn't like the game 2 hours in. So this allows me to triage games and give them a bit of a soft verdict, put them on your radar, and helps me figure out what I will play more of and review in the future going forward. This is really odd. This did come out in February, so I'm a little bit slow coming to it, but the devs just shot me a key, so I thought, yeah, let's have a look. So there's a bit of, hindsight in playing something like this. I'm aware that it's overwhelmingly positively received, which is a big part of why I gave it a go. I'm aware that BlazBlue is a fairly well-received fighting game, 2D fighter type series. Generally, I'm a bit funny about fighting games. In fact, the only real reason that I will get into them, as the maney, normie, boring dude that I am, is if they've got some sort of spectacular, bombastic, stupid narrative. Things like the Mortal Kombat games come to mind. Tekken recently as well. I really quite enjoyed all that. But what's going on here is it's kind of a spin-off. It's within the license, it's all official, it's a different studio, so you got to be careful. Sometimes these are hit and miss when studios farm out their IP to smaller studios for little side projects. And I can only assume that this is in the realm of what Riot Games seems to be doing a lot of lately. For those on across it, they're the dudes that do League of Legends, and they keep putting out these little indie side experimental projects, and they're always well received. I just haven't gotten around to giving them a go because I'm not really a League of Legends enthusiast, same as the BlazBlue thing. So there's the setup. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that sit in that exact same category as me. Because I'll be clear, this game is really, really good. And I really like it as someone who loves roguelikes, but again, doesn't really like fighting games. I feel like I'm the target audience that these studios are trying to capture. But there is that barrier because they're taking it from an installed franchise that I kind of have very little interest in at all. So I think getting to the market, it's the weirdest, most difficult way to go about it. And I feel like, continuing on that example, all those Riot Games spin-off indie titles, one-shots of following individual characters from League of Legends, I would probably love all of those games, and I probably should go back and give them a bit of a go. So yeah, as far as like, what has this got to do with BlazBlue? I don't know. I mean, I recognize that there's a roster of characters. I sort of recognize this dude in the red coat, I guess. I don't know though. But as far as it having anything to do with BlazBlue, I couldn't tell you, and I would be surprised. It seems like a really spun spin-off. You play as like this little cute robot thing, and you're kind of doing combat trials in a virtual arena, but this is set inside some sort of robot city, and you're interacting with all these other little robots, which, I don't see on any of the marketing material for any BlazBlue stuff at all. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm a little Roomba thing. That's fine. The art's beautiful, everything's beautiful, the polish is just insane. This is a very high quality product. But essentially you have the trappings of between each runs where you upgrade bloody slottables and meta upgrades and that sort of stuff, and they're doing sort of a narrative thing where you unlock these cutscenes that are sort of breadcrumb trailing a story that's kind of compelling, but you don't really know what's going on. That's sort of very vague area. It kind of reminds me of like the video messages you'd get in like Assassin's Creed 2, that sort of thing. It's kind of cool. But you do these combat trials, you pick a character, you don't have the full roster unlocked, you have to prototype things. I've gotten to a point now in my 2 hours where I can buy them for like 2,000 currency, right? So they're not cheap. You pick your dude, you do a run, it's all very roguelike fare. However, it does take some of those 2D fighter trappings and bring them across to do some kind of innovative stuff that I haven't really seen going before. As you beat the little arena and then you get to unlock an upgrade and then you pick your next path. Again, this is all roguelike fare. There are these things called potentials where you can actually add on to your move set. At its core, you pretty much just have like 2 attack buttons. I'm using controller because it was very unwieldy with keyboard. But you've got like essentially a light and a heavy attack, or just an attack and a special attack. But very quickly you can get combo things, which combo into dash attacks or even aerials or just simple, down and attack. So it's not super overwhelming fight game stuff, because I do find a lot of that, quarter circle, back, forward, punch, that sort of crap to be a bit much for me. So this is fairly rudimentary, hold down, hold button, that sort of thing. And so you kind of, as the run goes on and you power up, and it's got the good power curve, the sort of thing that you see in a Risk of Rain, where you do get kind of juiced. You unlock passives, things like auras or little bloody icicles that can shoot dudes autonomously, shadows that come out and fight. But yeah, you augment it with essentially fighting game movesets. It's really cool. All of the different characters seem to have like really unusual kits. Obviously, it's still grounded in the normal attack and special attack, so that they can only be so varied. But like, one of the first girls I unlocked is doing like this gun kana pistol stuff and can pull out a minigun, and then I actually got big value from a dude that's fairly slow and lumbering, and his attacks actually cost HP, but if they land, you get it back, and it's a percentage scale. So the lower your HP, say you lose 10% per swing, you lose less, but you gain more. So you kind of incentivize to play at a low health amount. And then there was another dude I've unlocked where he's sort of got like a ninja move set, does more damage behind, very punchy, very dash and fast. And then this other chick I unlocked with like, I don't know, she can launch blades out of the floor, but even in that example, I got an augmented move set where she could summon, if you hold like up and Y or something, instead of doing the normal heavy attack, you summon a portal that shoots blades out at targets as well. So like, there's a lot of diversity from character to character, and then within the upgrade movesets. It does this unusual thing that when you complete a run, your dudes essentially get a friggin' score of competency, and it's reflected by how well you did in the run. And it kind of saves that blueprint, and it's got a almost Marvel vs. Capcom vibe where you can pick up to 2 previous run save states, I don't know what else to call them, and it will essentially give you a special ability on your shoulder buttons for each one of those. And this creates a really wonderful incentive to, well, for example, the vampiric dude, I just had a really good run and I got like 900 score, and on average I was getting 200 or 300 with the other characters. And this incentivizes you to go back and play kind of your shittest character, or the one that you're not that good at, and then put the best scores on your shoulders. I'm using my hands. And so you have this thing where each run, it tricks you into making the decision yourself to vary up who you're running through and try and iron out your weak spots. At least that's how it worked for me. It's actually really, really clever of engineering how your brain goes picking into it. Because otherwise you would probably, without that reward system, you just keep picking the one dude that you were kicking ass with. Whereas I feel like every single run I was doing would be with the guy that I had the lowest score at. Anyway, it's really wonderful. It's really cool. I'd love to find time to play more of it, but again, this is just an overview, a little bit of a snapshot, put it on your radar, let you know. It's not very expensive either, from what I understand, but it's one of those things. If the big takeaway here is, if you are a roguelike fan, chances are you're kind of like me. You don't really care about 2D fighters that much. And even if you do check in, it's only going to be on like a tentpole Street Fighter or something like that. This game is for you. This game is for the roguelike enthusiasts that don't care about fighting games. So if you made it this far and you heard that, wishlist it, buy it, check it out. You won't regret it. It's actually really tight as far as roguelike offerings go. Anyway, might just leave it there for the time being. I'll catch you guys on the next one.